My daughter took my pension for a vacation. When she opened the fridge, she screamed the empty fridge. My name is Alina Whitmore. I am 72 years old, and last month, my own daughter left me with nothing but a box of instant grits and an empty refrigerator. If you had walked into my kitchen that morning, you would have thought the house had already been cleared for sale. The refrigerator hummed quietly, echoing against its hollow insides. One lonely carton of expired milk sat on the top shelf. The freezer held a single tray of ice cubes and nothing more. That was all. The day my pension arrived was the same day my daughter, Vanessa, booked her beach vacation. Coincidence? I don't believe in coincidences anymore. Vanessa has always had expensive taste. Designer handbags, luxury skincare, weekend brunches that cost more than my monthly electric bill. She is 45 years old, divorced twice, and somehow always between opportunities. 3 years ago, when her second marriage collapsed, she moved back into my house temporarily. Temporary became permanent, and permanent became control. At first, it was small things. Mom, let me help you manage your finances. You shouldn't stress at your age. I'll handle the pension deposit so you don't forget. You could get scammed online, Mom. It's safer if I monitor your account. It sounded caring, responsible, dutiful, so I signed the paperwork. Power of attorney, the biggest mistake of my life. The morning my pension came in, Vanessa walked into the kitchen glowing. "Guess what, Mom?" she sang, scrolling on her phone. "I found the cutest beach resort in Clearwater. Oceanfront, private balcony. It's exactly what I need for my mental health." I stirred my tea slowly. "That sounds lovely." "It is. And flights were cheaper than I expected." She smiled sweetly. "Don't worry, I made sure all your bills are covered." I didn't ask which bills. I should have. 2 hours later, I watched her roll her pink suitcase down the driveway. "Only 5 days," she called. "Try not to miss me too much." The Uber door shut. And just like that, she was gone. That afternoon, I opened the fridge. Empty, not even eggs. No butter, no leftovers. The pantry wasn't much better. She had taken everything except a single box of instant grits and 2 cans of green beans. My hands trembled, not because I was hungry, but because I understood the message. She thought I would panic. She thought I would call her crying. She thought I would beg. She thought hunger would make me obedient. She underestimated me. You see, before I became Fragile Mom, I was Alina Whitmore, curator of the Whitmore Estate Collection. My late husband, Arthur Whitmore, came from old Southern money. Generations of heirlooms, silver tea sets from the 1800s, Swiss clocks, hand-painted oil portraits, antique brooches passed down through women who survived wars and depressions. Vanessa always called them dust collectors, but I knew their value, and more importantly, I knew what they represented. Freedom. That evening, instead of boiling grits, I picked up the phone. I called someone Vanessa didn't know existed. "Harold," I said calmly. "It's Alina Whitmore." There was a pause. "Mrs. Whitmore, I haven't heard from you in years. I have some pieces I'd like evaluated." His tone shifted instantly. "I can be there tomorrow morning." Harold Bernstein was the most respected antique dealer in the county. He'd handled estate sales for senators and CEOs. When he walked into my living room the next day, his eyes widened. "Good Lord," he whispered, staring at the silver cabinet. "You've kept everything." "I've kept what matters," I replied. For 6 hours, we catalogued. The Victorian silver tea service, the emerald-studded brooch, the grandfather clock from Geneva, 3 oil paintings, 2 Persian rugs, each item carefully wrapped, each one appraised. When Harold finished, he looked at me gently. "Are you sure, Mrs. Whitmore?" "Yes. These are legacy pieces. My daughter already treats them like an inheritance," I said evenly. "I'd rather enjoy them while I'm alive." He nodded. By sunset, a wire transfer larger than my pension for the next 10 years was sitting safely in an account Vanessa could not touch, because I had opened it quietly 2 months ago, just in case. The next morning, I ordered groceries. Not groceries, indulgence, imported caviar, French cheeses, fresh truffles, exotic fruits I couldn't pronounce, prime filet mignon, Belgian chocolates, and a chilled bottle of Dom Perignon. When the delivery men finished unloading, my refrigerator looked like something out of a culinary magazine. Color, luxury, abundance. I stood there, admiring it, and for the first time in 3 years, I felt powerful. Vanessa returned on Sunday afternoon. I heard her suitcase wheels before I saw her. "Mom, I'm back," she chirped, tan and glowing. She walked straight to the kitchen. "Did you survive without me?" she teased. She opened the fridge, and then she screamed. A sharp, high-pitched scream that echoed through the house. "What the hell is this?" I remained seated at the dining table, calmly slicing a piece of brie. "That," I said gently, "is dinner." She stared inside the refrigerator as if it had betrayed her personally. Caviar tins, gold-wrapped chocolates, imported champagne. "Where did you get the money for this?" she demanded. I took a slow sip of sparkling water. "I sold something that belonged to me." Her face went pale. "What did you sell?" I smiled faintly. "Oh, just a few things you were planning to inherit." And that was when the real war began. The inheritance she already spent Vanessa's scream didn't fade. It sharpened. "What did you sell?" she demanded again, slamming the refrigerator door so hard the Dom Perignon rattled. I folded my napkin carefully. "The silver tea set," I said calmly. "The emerald brooch. 2 paintings. The Geneva clock." Her face drained of color. "You what?" I converted dust into dinner. "That was mine. There it was. Not ours. Not family's. Mine." I raised an eyebrow. Interesting choice of words. You had no right, she snapped, running her hands through her beach-styled hair. Those were family heirlooms. Yes, I agreed softly. My family. She stared at me like she'd never seen me before, because she hadn't. Not like this. Vanessa paced the kitchen like a cornered animal. You can't just sell things without talking to me. I did, I said. When? For 72 years, she scoffed. This is ridiculous. You're being dramatic because I took a vacation. A vacation, I repeated, with my pension. Her eyes flickered. I paid the bills. You paid the electric bill. After transferring the rest. That money is for the household. It is my money. Silence stretched between us. For the first time in 3 years, she didn't have a quick answer. She turned abruptly and stormed toward the hallway. Where are you going? I asked mildly. To check the cabinet. Of course, the silver cabinet. I heard the doors swing open. Then another scream. Louder, raw. You emptied it. I remained seated. Yes. She came back into the kitchen trembling. You had no authority to do that. I almost laughed. Actually, dear, I said evenly, I had every authority. Her eyes narrowed. What does that mean? It means I revoked the power of attorney. The words landed like a bomb. You can't revoke it without my consent. Yes, I said, I can. That's not how it works. It is. I spoke to my attorney 2 months ago. Her lips parted slightly. 2 months ago. Yes. I had seen the signs. It started when I overheard her on the phone. I can't keep waiting, she whispered in the hallway one night. The house is worth at least $800,000. And once she's in assisted living, it'll be easier. I had stood frozen behind my bedroom door. Assisted living. I was 72. Not incapacitated, not senile, independent. But in her mind, I was an obstacle, an asset waiting to liquidate. Back in the kitchen, Vanessa crossed her arms. You're lying. I'm not. Show me. I stood slowly and walked to the desk drawer in the living room. From a neat folder, I removed a single sheet of paper. Revocation of power of attorney. Signed, notarized, filed. I handed it to her. She scanned it quickly. Her hands began to shake. You went behind my back. I met her eyes steadily. You were planning to put me in a nursing home. Her head snapped up. What? I heard you. Silence. Heavy. You were discussing my placement. That was just, she faltered. That was just planning. You're getting older. I am older, I agreed. Not incompetent. Her jaw tightened. You're twisting things. No, I said quietly. You are, she threw the paper onto the table. This is insane. You're punishing me because I tried to help you. Help me, I repeated. Yes. Do you know how hard it is taking care of you? The audacity almost made me smile. I cook my own meals, I said. I drive myself to appointments. I pay my own insurance. You forget things. I forget where I put my glasses, I replied calmly. Not who owns my estate. She exhaled sharply. You're being manipulated. By whom? That antique antique vulture, probably. He tricked you. Harold Bernstein, I said gently, has handled estates larger than you can imagine. She stared at me. Then something shifted in her expression. Calculation. How much? She asked quietly. How much what? How much did you get? Ah, there it was again. Money first. Always. Enough, I said. That's not an answer. It's the only one you're getting. Her breathing quickened. You've ruined everything. No, I corrected softly. I've protected it. You think selling heirlooms and buying fancy food is protecting anything. I looked at the refrigerator. Caviar, truffles, champagne. Yes, I said. I'm protecting my dignity. She laughed bitterly. This is pathetic. No, I replied. Pathetic is leaving your 72-year-old mother with nothing but instant grits. Her face flushed red. You're exaggerating. Am I? I asked. Open the pantry. She hesitated. Then she walked over and opened it. 2 cans of green beans, 1 box of grits, nothing else. She didn't speak. You removed every other item, I said quietly, including the frozen chicken I bought last week. That was for meal planning. For you, I said. Silence again. She closed the pantry door slowly. You embarrassed me, she muttered. I fed myself. You made me look greedy. I tilted my head. Were you not? Her eyes flashed. You think you're so clever. No, I said. Just awake. She walked toward the hallway again. This conversation isn't over. I agree. She stopped. What now? Now, I said calmly. You find somewhere else to live. Her entire body froze. What? You have 30 days. You can't evict me. I can, I replied. The house is solely in my name. You'd throw your own daughter out. You already tried to throw me out, I said gently. Into assisted living. That's different. How? She had no answer. For the first time since she came home 3 years ago, Vanessa looked uncertain. Small, afraid. And underneath the fear, anger. Deep, simmering anger. You'll regret this, she whispered. No, I said softly. I won't. She stormed down the hallway and slammed her bedroom door. The house shook slightly, but I did not. That night, I poured myself a small glass of champagne. I sat by the window, and I thought about Arthur, about the woman I used to be, strong, respected, unapologetic. I had disappeared somewhere along the way, but not anymore. Down the hallway, I could hear Vanessa pacing, making phone calls, whispering urgently, plotting, good, let her, because she didn't know something yet, something far more devastating than the sold heirlooms. And when she found out, that scream in the kitchen, it would sound small,